Well, first, I guess I would say that I had heard people talking about the fields for a long time, and it took me quite a while to actually make the trip out there. I suppose I was cynical, maybe, or I just didn't believe what I was hearing from people. I found myself really wanting something different, wanting an alternative, and I had heard enough good stories from enough trustworthy people that I made a trip out to the field. I spent a meaningful amount of time there, and I came back really transformed by what I saw and what I learned there. And I came back from the fields into town with what I think is a beautiful idea that they've demonstrated work and doesn't really exist in many other parts of the world. We're very fortunate to be this close to it and to have a chance to try to bring it into our own community. I think is a once in a lifetime or generation opportunity. My feeling is that we've lost touch with a way of being together, and we need to relearn. These are behaviors and rituals or routines that have just sort of disappeared. What I saw in the fields is a set of new civic possibilities, rituals and routines that we can then bring in, but we need to choose them, embed them in what we do. It's not going to happen by accident, and that's what they've done in the fields, and I think they're to be celebrated. I think the way that communities come together and make decisions is kind of broken. Citizens Assembly is sort of this ancient solution that creates a really strong space for a town to kind of develop a shared understanding. Citizens Assembly is how abortion was made legal and gay marriage was made legal in Ireland, and it's sort of a growing movement in Europe, and it's coming to America now. I think Hudson has an opportunity to be at sort of the forefront of true innovation in democratic participation. I think it's the most beautiful idea I've encountered, actually. It's one of the reasons I'm running for mayor, is that it feels like something strong and beautiful to stand up on. A representative group of community members chosen at random through this process called sortition. And sometimes it's called a mini public. It works a lot like a jury, but it's actually the construction of it. You can design it to be truly representative of all the levels or types of diversity within a community. And then that mini public is really supported through different types of dialogue, and they become experts on issues over a long period of time and supported through towards consensus and recommendations. Maybe it's about prioritizing the relationships above all else, and recognizing that all of the value, or most of the value, is in the preservation of relationships, and what emerges out of attending to those relationships in significant decisions. I think about Hudson as it's just like a conflict generation machine. I mean, the feeling is that we've just eroded any store of goodwill that we might have had. A Citizens Assembly, as it works, it's actually creating value. It's actually producing levels of trust, producing levels of connection that are strengthening as opposed to dividing. So I think that it could be an engine of connection is the thing that makes it so powerful to me. I think there's probably a variety of ways of reacting to the moment that we're in right now, and a lot of them are really despairing and sort of hopeless, but I feel like with ideas that are big and beautiful, there's a lot of hope. One of the things that people tell me all the time is that I'm just a big idea guy, and I take that as a compliment, you know what I mean? Because we have suffered for a long time for want of big ideas or want of the willingness to invest in the big ideas. We have a choice to either embrace, bold possibility, or we can stay at a very ground level squabbling over the remnants of what we have. I mean, this is all, I'm not accustomed to speaking with this kind of grandiosity, but it definitely is how I think and feel about what Citizens Assembly could do. Practical terms, my daughter is 8 years old. In 10 years, she'll be voter's age. And if a Citizens Assembly had become part of the city charter, let's say that we do a charter reform through Citizens Assembly, which is my proposal, the city could then embed in the charter that every 2 years or every 4 years there's a Citizens Assembly that's assigned a question chosen by the community, and 25 to 30 members of the community, neighbors chosen randomly to be truly representative of the city, are convened over 5 afternoons to come to consensus and solve this very difficult problem What that would mean for my daughter is that when she becomes voter age and she's a registered voter, her name is put into a lottery, and has the opportunity to sit at a table in a room. This makes me really emotional. And be heard and talk and contribute. And that decisions could be made like that, and that we would see each other in that way is, I just think, unbelievable. In some weird spasm of attention, we vote every once in a while and then wait for somebody to disappoint us. So this idea that we could all be tapped and invited into like a community conversation and be heard and participate is just it's mind-blowing to me and worth fighting for. I mean, I wouldn't do any of this stuff if I didn't have that idea baked in. And we would be one of the first to do it. Cambridge, Mass is considering this, but this is a very new thing.